Today at Bargello A Go Go, I'm going to be showing you how to prepare the raw edges of your tapestry canvas. We do this to help prevent the edges of the canvas fraying whilst we're sewing on it. Now, in the past I used to use masking tape, but I found that when I used masking tape, it used to come off midway if I was working on a bigger project such as a cushion, and I found that was quite frustrating because I'd have to re-stick it on, and it could end up fraying the canvas more. So I've now found a different way that I like to prepare the canvas edges that I thought I'd share with you. So first of all, on this example I'm using Zwigart mono tapestry canvas in 12 count, and I'm going to be using some bias binding for this particular method I now like to use when I'm preparing this style of tapestry canvas. So what you need to do is just measure out some bias binding just along the length of your canvas. Obviously the size will vary depending on what you're working on for your particular project. And then I just get some scissors and I just snip off the edge just a bit over the edge like this. And as you can see, you can then fold it across the top of the canvas, or the canvas edge like this. And then I just use some pins. Now you could skip that stage and just sew directly onto the bias binding, but I find it doesn't take that much more time, and I find it really just helps secure it in place evenly on the front and back of the canvas. So you just get any pins you can use really. These are just sort of standard dressmaking pins, and you can just put them through all the layers of the fabric just till the edge, as I'm doing on here. And then you just get a sewing needle and some sewing thread, any thread you can use, and not the bottom like I've done here. You can use polyester cotton, or as this example I'm using silk thread because it's easy to pull out afterwards. So we're just going to run a tacking stitch, just a long running stitch through each layer of fabric like I'm demonstrating here. And you just continue that along the length of the bias binding, removing the pins as you go until you get to the end. So you just remove them. The stitching doesn't have to be precise, it's just long running stitches, because this is just to temporarily tack the bias binding in place until you're ready to remove it at the end of your project. So you literally just continue along as I'm doing here. And then once you get to the edge, you're just going to trim off any excess bias binding. And then what you're going to do is just repeat this step that I've shown you just around all the edges of the canvas, like I'm doing here. And then as you'll see, you should have something that looks like this. Obviously it might be a different size depending on what you're working on, where it's all temporarily secured, and then you can start your sewing, your project, and hopefully not have the stress of worrying about the edges fraying as you're working. This should really keep it all in place until you're ready to remove that to start the next part of your project once you've finished the sewing part or the embroidery part. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. If you'd like to see more videos from me, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm going to be uploading some free patterns, demonstrations and videos of that type, and some more tips and tricks I like to use in Bargello embroidery soon. You can also visit the website www.bargelloagogo.com for more information about Bargello embroidery and see the supplies and kits available on the website. Thanks again for watching.